Welcome to Dare to Disagree, your weekly episodic podcast which skipped 2 weeks. I'll be your host today, Jonathan Esther, out of Cali.
This is Low in the Dark back in Colorado again. What you guys worried about?
And this is Puppet Master in the middle of redneck paradise. Enjoy my white privilege.
How can you not enjoy white
Fine. In his undisclosed location, shit is real good.
Really good.
Alright, man.
So, you want me
Should
to
we just start out the gate with... Yeah, let's start with the most obvious thing. Go ahead. I know you were going to hit it.
So, anyways, yeah, fucking... What was it? What was the new name for Bruce?
Caitlyn.
That's me.
Yeah.
Caitlyn with
Here's the ridiculous thing. Bruce, that's a powerful fucking name for you to end up as a woman. But hey, it's his own goddamn decision. That's all I'm saying, you know. But I don't really give a shit about that. I'm sure that shit has been done to death across various things. But here's something that came up that kind of interested me. Okay, now I don't know how often this happens with minority families, but Puppet Master would probably be able to chime in on this, of having those grandpas and grandmas, you know, the 60, 70, 80-year-old, who come out and just say some ridiculously out of this time shit, okay? Like, oh my god, look at that white girl dating that black guy. You're like, Grandma, fucking cut it, okay? Cut it out. and it's just, and if you think about it, it's not that surprising. I mean, here you are. Like, my grandpa was born in the 1940s, man. The 1940s, okay? That's a ridiculous thing, you know? That's a long fucking time ago. Think about shit that was happening back in the 1940s. I mean, that's a crazy amount of time ago. You know, that's when being a white man really fucking meant something, you know? Matter of fact, it was the only thing that meant something, you know? So it's hard to even blame them.
Never mind, go ahead.
It's hard to even blame them when they come out with some ridiculous shit, you know? So I was thinking about that. I was like, you know, I mean, it's kind of the way the world's going now. I'm probably not going to be one of those fucking old-timers, right? But then I saw this discussion, okay? I didn't even take part of it. I just fucking watched it happening, and somebody came online and said, listen, okay, I think incest is disgusting, okay? Don't think I'm trying to fucking, you know, change the rules here or anything like that. But do I feel it's just disgusting because it's gross or because it's morally wrong? And so immediately somebody came out with, well, yeah, I mean, the morally wrong thing is you can get some fucking flipper kids out of it, you know? You get some fucking freakish kids. And the guy's like, I understand that, but they're working on gene therapy for kids that are in the womb, okay? Let's say in 10 years we perfect it where, hey, yeah, I mean, the incest isn't a problem. If there's an issue, we'll correct it in the womb, and bam, your kid's 100%. So that's off the table now. Now is incest okay? And it's funny watching people bat it back and forth, and really it came to the conclusion that, man, it's just gross, you know? Like, that was the really a no here, you know, with A and B right here, that it's wrong, you know. It just came to the fucking conclusion that no, man, it's gross. What hit me right there though is, what if that shit starts getting accepted? Okay, let's say tomorrow fucking Mary-Kate and Ashley said, hey, guess what? We've been fucking doing, which, I mean, I want a fucking video. But
Look,
Oh my god.
it just starts going like that, where suddenly looking down on these incestuous relationships is you being a fucking bigot. Hey, that's two people, they're making their own decisions, they're not hurting anybody, leave them the fuck alone. So,
look,
fuck
as long as it's not parent and child, what's the problem? I mean, like I said before, why go down the street when you go down the hall, right? No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No.
Look, I'm totally fucking around. I don't believe that shit. It's cool.
It's funny because that was actually not the exact, but kind of the discussion I got caught into at the job. But it was similar to that, but on the name. And again, it's not exactly what you said, but it parallels it in the sense that it's something that some people are considering morally wrong, which I think either does stand or doesn't stand. In your case, I am of the more I'm of the sort who thinks that's wrong for a lot of reasons. for me, it's wrong for a lot of reasons. None of them actually fit into that whole. Once you have the gene therapy thing, none of them actually fit into there is a logical reason why. For me, it's more of a moral reason. But I think that's where it's up to the individual how they feel about it. And I just think you hunting your mom is not just morally wrong in my eyes, but lazy, really.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's just what it is. It's the epitome of laziness. I'm just saying. It's the epitome of laziness. If you're just like, man, I could go out there, dress nice, put on cool clothes, do work, get a job. Ma!
Man.
His friends call and say, hey man, you want to go out tonight? And he's like, nah, man, I think I'm going to sit home, drink a couple beers, watch a movie, have my mom suck my dick.
Jesus Christ.
Website, some guy did like an Ask Me Anything, because apparently when he was like 14, he got in some accident where he broke both of his arms, right? And his parents started noticing that he was getting really frustrated because he couldn't fucking jack off anymore. Both his arms were broke. Well, his mom started jacking him off to relieve that pressure. He ended up having a relationship with her for like 3 fucking years. And like, it was the weirdest shit. Like, people were asking, like, well, how'd your dad feel about it? Like, well, we never fucking talked about it. Obviously, Dad.
Yeah, no.
But we just never said shit. And I mean, it was the weirdest fucking thing I've ever. And people were like, I mean, did you come in your mom? And it was just like, well, she was on birth control, and I'm like, no.
Oh, no, stop. Like, stop. When you start off the answer with, well, she was on birth control, so.
Jesus,
But the conversation we were having on a much less grosser and weirder scale was about the name Bruce. The fact that people were attacking people calling her, Bruce, right?
Shim.
And
that'll work.
I'll go with her. People were attacking people calling her Bruce, especially celebrities online. They were getting all this hate mail, being called trans haters and whatever. And I was like, no. You're mixing stuff up. It's not trans hate. It was his choice to do that surgery. Whether it's morally right or wrong, it was his choice to do it. I am not required to adjust what I've known him as a lifestyle because of that. The only reason I feel like that's a valid argument is because I have 2 trans friends. And it took me a long time, because I knew them as guys before I knew them as girls. It took me a long time to get comfortable not Freudian slipping him into our conversations. And they were very forgiving about it. Like, they completely understood it wasn't that big a deal. So when I saw people immediately go off and go, Bruce is like a freaking, anybody who calls him Bruce is a trans hater, I was like, no. Now you guys are... now you guys are kind of going too far with it, man. It's just...
Look,
it's just that some people are more comfortable than other people, and some people, as long as they're not reacting in a way to harm the situation. But see, that's where you get into, like, how biases harm down the line and that kind of stuff.
All right, well, I want to take this in a slightly different direction.
All right, shoot.
How the fuck is he a brave hero?
No.
This bothers me.
He isn't.
Well,
It shouldn't.
Maybe he's brave, but you know what? Honestly, I'll tell you what I think he did this for. One, he probably had the tendencies anyway, but I think he was struggling with not being relevant because every other person in that family was relevant except for him. For how many years?
Here's all the brain.
Now he's relevant.
Here's all the brave thing prove. The only thing the brave thing prove is that award ceremonies, which we've known for a long time, award ceremonies are meaningless. They're pointless. They're senseless. He's not brave. He's not brave. Because you change your gender does not make you brave. Period. You changed it for your own personal benefit. You didn't change it at great sacrifice for others. So the question of whether he's brave or not is stupid. That immediately makes that award meaningless.
Well,
It's kind of like when Obama got the Nobel Peace Award. Honestly, it was like, well, we all know that he didn't really deserve that thing.
now
Let's be honest.
here's the argument I'll make. Okay. Now, am I really gonna run up and say this guy's a fucking hero? No. But here's the argument I will make on his behalf. His whatever the fuck.
I make that mistake all the time.
Is in all honesty,
Shim.
when you look at the amount of violence and the chance of being murdered for somebody who's trans, it is way higher than, say, a U.S. Marine in Afghanistan. So
Doesn't make them
calling them brave, our Marines brave for being out of Afghanistan, it's pretty brave for him to come out. I mean, there's people being beat. Only until last year was it not a defense. You can't. I mean, it still is actually in a lot of states, but it used to be a valid defense that, hey, I killed this guy, yeah, but it's because I found out she had a dick, and the courts were like, oh, well, you know, that's a pretty good reason. I mean, that's ridiculous. Think about it. Like, hey, yeah, you know, I was about, but I found out she was half black, so I beat. Oh, you found out she was half black. Well, now you got a valid excuse. You know, am I really calling this guy a hero? Not really. But there's a lot of people who have to, and it's funny because I can't find the picture right now. But there's a picture that actually I know exactly how to find it. A lot of conservative friends on my thing are sharing. And it's hilarious because of the backstory for that picture. Okay? Let me make sure I cut his shit out of here.
Oh, while you're doing that, real quick.
Here it is, right here.
A line I heard from Ted 2, which I think should be now freaking law. The line I heard was, there are no chicks with dicks, just dudes with tits. I think that was on the trailer for you guys that haven't seen the Red Band trailer for Ted 2, go watch it. That should be official. No more chicks with dicks, just dudes with tits.
There, you're gonna plug in everybody else's shit. But anyway, okay. This picture right here, I kept seeing pop up. Okay, this is what true heroism is. Okay, the hilarious part about this picture is this is actually two toy soldiers that some artist made to make this scene, right? That he kind of adjusted to make this scene, right? They're both G.I. Joes. The artist started building these things after some guy at a bar found out that he was a cross-dresser, and 5 guys beat him half to death outside. The dude had brain damage, had to relearn how to walk, had to relearn how to talk, couldn't fucking write. It was a vicious fucking beating that they found out because he was a fucking cross-dresser. So, I mean, if you're looking at the stats, if we're calling people heroes like cops, who are way down on the list of dangerous occupations, but they're heroes for being out there fighting in those streets, you know, military people, again, way down on the list of dangerous jobs. Being a fucking trans person is more dangerous. You know, that's
yeah, it's more dangerous, and we can agree on that. Nobody's arguing that his choice was difficult. I'm not saying whether I like. Yeah.
It does not make him a hero.
Yeah, and that's I'm getting to. I'm like whether
he's being labeled as a hero right now.
And that's what I'm getting to. I'm like whether his decision was heroic or not. I'm not putting down that it was dangerous. No argument there. It's a risky choice to make for his career, for his life, for his family. In general, it's a pretty major decision to make. But the reason it doesn't stand as heroism is in all those other examples, people voluntarily decided to step out for reasons other than themselves, mostly. I'm not saying that there aren't some cops who don't go on the force because they want power. I'm not saying there aren't some military people who go in the military because they want power of some sort. But we like to assume that most of those people started off with altruistic reasons. There is no there's no argument about him becoming a woman where you can say he did it for all the other transgenders out there. And that's at its core what I think heroism is. And if you guys disagree, please put it out there. Like heroism should be someone stepping out for reasons above himself. And I don't think there's any argument that can be made that Caitlyn Jenner's outing was to serve any purpose higher than Caitlyn Jenner's. No matter how dangerous it was.
I think hell froze over. I think for the first time I might agree with you, man.
I mean,
look at that. The beginning of the end, man. But I see your point, though. You're right.
I've never watched this fucking show. Bruce Jenner, the last time I really paid any attention to him was in the Olympics. You know, like reading.
Wow, that's a long ass time ago.
Beating his freaking records in the Olympics. That was it. So I don't fucking know this guy, okay? I mean, the few times I ever saw him interact with the family, he was really the voice of fucking reason. Like, no, Kim, don't do a spread for Playboy, okay? On his fucking dad's memory. So I'm kind of thinking that, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe they're, you know, if people watch the show, maybe they're seeing a different side of him. But I'm kind of thinking they're taking the Kardashians' vapidness and applying it to him, whether or not there's any reason to, you know? I mean, he easily could have converted to a woman and just stayed out of whatever. I mean, obviously people are going to fucking catch him, you know? So I don't know if he did all this shit, putting his private life out there, which, I mean, they've been doing forever, because there is a whole bunch of trans kids who are terrified about anybody finding out what they're doing. And here's somebody getting up and fucking doing it.
I would agree with you, and I agree with the positives that it will have for the community. That I do agree with. I think it's and that was one of the big problems I had on my job, was reconciling how I didn't feel he was a hero, but how I felt this is a great thing for America. Because this is one of those closet things that has been in the closet for a long time, and now it's out in the open, so people can have this conversation. Wherever this conversation leads, we can have this conversation and make a decision on where we stand as a society on it. But that argument is void the second you realize the millions of dollars he's getting paid to do a Vanity Fair spread, the millions of dollars he's getting paid to do his show about his change, and so on and so forth. Well, at no point did I hear millions of dollars and a couple of million donated to this.
With the kind of the same thing, you know. I mean, Obama sure as fuck got paid. He got paid. Yeah. You know? I mean, it's like so kind of moving the goalpost here all the fucking sudden, and that's kind of my problem. Now I don't know where the posts are. Like these rules, if you made any money off it, suddenly you can't have been brave at all. Well,
no. It's not if you made.
I've heard it before, you know.
It's not if you made any money off it. Is if any of that money even went to something other than you. Because remember, we keep talking about it's ultimately about you doing something more than you, sacrificing something more than you. And at no point in this journey, aside from the actual decision to become transgender and the actual decision to step out, but even then, he's not sacrificing for anyone other than himself. And you're right. In that show, he tends to come out as a voice of reason. And you're also right. I think the vapidness of the Kardashian rubs off, you know, on his image a lot. I absolutely agree on all of that. But all the decisions he's made still end with you. If you trace you do like in the movies where they do the freaking red tie lines, the lines on the map where all the links go, it ultimately still ends with him profiting. It ends with him gaining, and I don't see anyone else at that board. For me to even give him any shot as a hero, I would need to see someone else on that board that can be linked at him saying, yes, I'm definitely doing this sacrifice, and a definite sacrifice for this community. I haven't seen anything of that sort. I mean, he's put it in tangent, but it's kind of like when, Jesus, I had a good example about that, and then I just lost it. Yeah, whatever. Go ahead.
these rules. You know, I mean, these are all new rules that I've never heard of before. You know,
All right, well,
What new rules? You have to sacrifice for others. He hasn't done any of that.
being a hero isn't doing something for yourself.
Yeah.
At no point has anyone done something for themselves to be called a hero.
Actually, there is one right now.
There's one now. All right, so but here's my thing. I literally believe, yes, he has small tendencies, but I think he literally did this just to be relevant. And I'm going to make a prediction that before this motherfucker dies, he's going to be a lesbian. Because he still likes women.
That doesn't mean anything, though.
That doesn't link.
There's men who convert into women and sleep with women. I mean, that's not a...
Trust me, at this point, we'll see what happens.
All
We'll
right.
see what happens.
I am curious. I am curious to see where this goes.
Now,
But the goalpost is and has always been like you have to show me where he's definitely sacrificing for others in this transition, and that hasn't been met yet.
Nobody's ever gotten the Medal of Honor just for protecting themselves. Just saying.
yeah, well, we've got some...
I feel like if we research, we'd find someone. I know. I remember that fat lady from the World Trade. She was a hero for a long time before I found out the story.
Medal of Honor, but I know somebody that got a Navy commendation for not doing fuck all, just whining about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just there has been awards, but as a finish to my old people scenario,
There have been.
is I was thinking, because really, in all honesty, all those times I've had those old people who said some outlandish shit, it wasn't my actual grandfathers. Now, my grandmothers have had said some shit, but my grandfathers, in all honesty, I've never really caught them in some shit that you would find racist or sexist or blah blah blah, right? So it made me think: are these guys just rolling with the times? Well, I don't know, because I don't really hear them supporting it either, you know? They're just not really detracting from it. And, I mean, in all honesty, I really doubt these guys were super fucking progressive back in the 1940s when they were born, you know? Ultra fucking progressive. Yeah, gay people go get married and fucking Bruce Jenner could change to a freaking woman. I doubt it, okay? So it hit me that what these guys are doing is not really rolling with the times. All they've done is shut the fuck up.
It's another fucking business.
I guarantee my grandfathers have some racist fucking tendencies or some sexist tendencies or don't like fucking gay people or, at least don't think they should just be freaking all around willy-nilly. They should be in a fucking box somewhere, you know what I mean? But what they do to avoid getting in trouble is they just shut the fuck up about it. Whatever. Go fucking do your thing. I disagree, but it ain't my fucking problem.
Again,
And
my
I
opinion of an individual shouldn't even fucking matter. It shouldn't.
think that I might be able to pull that off in my old age. Just
I won't, man.
Just
You know I
shut
won't.
the
I
fuck
can
up when grown folks is talking.
Alone in the dark, I can never see that actually being you. You may think you can pull it, but I don't know, man. I've heard some random fucking crazy shit come out of your mouth.
I think with him the problem is this. He'll be quiet until someone will eventually shoot something his way, and all of those moral high standings he has are gonna crumble as the rage pours out of him.
He's gonna get caught up when someone asks him why the fuck he's laughing so hard.
Now,
so funny?
I will say this. There's like a petition right now going around to revoke his Olympic medals, and I think that's just unnecessary.
That's horseshit.
I think that's part of the trans hate that comes out of it. Yeah, I think that's where the trans hate comes out, because people are going at it from a moral angle. Like, he's not a morally upstanding guy who was on a Wheaties box. I was like, that he didn't cheat. He still achieved all those things perfectly legally. You guys are just butthurt. Let it go.
Yeah. Hey, so have we beat this dick enough? I mean, I'm sorry, she don't have a dick anymore. Hey, have we beat this enough, or what? We good?
Well,
'Cause I got one quick story to tell you in the middle of it.
that's a quick. What do they do with the dick they cut off? I mean,
I hope they don't keep
the
it.
donor. He's a donor.
If that shit
Is it a-
shows up on eBay, if there's Bruce Jenner's dick on
Oh
eBay,
no, don't even.
I'm throwing a fucking bid down. I can't do that shit. That needs to be on my fucking wall.
That dick is shipped to you. That's gonna be.
Years later, you're gonna see a remake, because they remake everything. A remake of MTV Cribs, and some rich guys going around. Yeah, these are my Van Gogh. Yes, that's my Jenner dick.
Jenner's dick.
You know, I got it right after the Vanity Fair shoot. Classic, classic, Caitlyn.
Him before it was a shim. What's up?
Jeez,
So,
this is not how it happens.
before we transition, we talk about old people seeing some random shit, right?
Mm.
And God bless my wife's grandmother. I love her to death. She's amazing. And she said this with no ill intentions. It's just that's what they called her when she was growing up. I don't know what nut it is, but there was a bowl full of nuts. She was like, "You want some of these nigger toes?" And I was like,
Oh yeah, I know the ones.
"What the fuck you just say?"
I know the exact ones. I've actually run into them.
She just say that? She was like, "Well, what?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Ah." But I mean, she really. I mean, she doesn't have a harmful, hateful bone in her
No.
body.
They were nuts that were called nigger toes. That was not.
Oh my god.
That was nowhere near racism on her part. That was just a sign of the time. That just tells me when she grew up. It's like when the old dude at my job called me a. It's like when the old dude at my job called me a coon, and I was just like, I'm not even offended. That's just funny.
You know, here's the thing. I was almost in tears of laughter and confusion that it came from this sweet old lady. Like,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God! I was like, what did she just fucking say? Like, yeah. So that's my story on saying some random shit.
No, it actually highlights something that people don't talk about when they talk about this whole race thing. That there was a point in time when that was the norm, when it was steeped in culture. So even people who are the sweetest people on earth might have and say things that seem terrible, which are completely innocuous to them morally, because at their time they were probably the progressives of their times.
She probably was.
Yeah, and that's the funny part. Like people tend to lose it, but the reason that argument can't be given too much legs is there just enough crazy white folks, and this is specifically white folks out there, who like do the Jewish camp deniers and like guys that walk around still trying to be Nazis. There are just enough of those guys out there that you can't even give that conversation a shot, because giving them any leg to stand up becomes a problem.
Don't you go talking bad about my Aryan nation.
I actually had that incident, man. I had somebody send a text, a family member send a text like, "Oh yeah, I watched this documentary and I really don't think the Holocaust ever happened." And I had to like sit down and tell her, "Listen, don't go around saying this shit, because there's only two ways you can believe that. You're either racist or you're fucking stupid." I mean, that's the
There's some people that survived it that might disagree with you.
I had a great grandpa that would tell us fucking stories, You're telling me they bought that guy off? That dude got paid off to, spread this propaganda? Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving on.
Yeah,
I'm done.
All right, this will be pretty. This will be a pretty good transition. I actually kind of got into a little text message conversation with Alone in the Dark about it yesterday, but it's about being old. Like, one of the cool things.
Like, you hate old.
Oh yeah, we're all getting old. We're all getting old, man. One of the cool things about experience that people don't talk about, because in social media and TV, they popularize youth. Youth is everything, When they show successful people, they show you Kim Kardashian, who's, what is she, like, late 20s or some shit?
She's a nobody.
Yeah, well, but that's what they show you as people making it. People kind of.
I don't see her as successful. That's the thing. Like,
She's what?
34. Kanye.
34. All right, there you go.
see, she's old as I am.
Yeah. So these are kind of, they tend to prioritize youth over actual age. They don't really focus on like their experience. They focus on the youth. And one of the good things about experience is you start learning little things that you might not have learned. And one of the things that hit me recently is, like most people when you're young, you see a lot of cool and calm people that are successful. And you just assume that they're successful because they're cool and calm. But I'm going to share like a quick personal story to tell you where this came from. You guys know my godparent, the godparents of my kid. So
Yeah.
the godfather of my kid, sweetest guy on earth, like nicest guy, literally the most wholesome American family I've ever met in my life. They discuss as a family brilliantly. They handle family issues personally. He's caring. He's giving. He's just the most amazing individual. But he's also a pretty high-end banker. And I could never contrast in my mind how this guy, who's like the nicest human being I know, works in one of the most
Cutthroat.
the banking system is, well, working in the banking sector, you always have people gunning for your position.
It's cutthroat.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean?
It's a cutthroat industry.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. I didn't hear that right. But yeah, so I could never understand how this sweet guy who, like, he doesn't kowtow to his wife, but he's just the picture husband from the sitcom who, yes, honey, we can get that, honey. It's a bad idea, honey? Sure, we'll get it anyways. See, I told you, honey, it was a bad idea. That kind of guy. But one day we played a board game together, and the competitive side of this guy came out. And as I talked to his daughter later on, I found out that's actually how he is. Part of the reason he's so calm is when he kicks into competitive gear, he does not lose. He does not lose well. It was his first time playing the game I brought, and he was arguing with me about the rules. We never had an argument in like the freaking 7 years I've known the guy. First time we had an argument was him definitely proving me wrong on a rule that I'd been playing for years. And I talked to his daughter, and they're like, yeah, no, when we were kids, he never let us win anything. And I was like, holy crap, okay, so that's how he makes it. But I started looking around, and I sent Alone in the Dark a video of a story about Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson met one of the, you guys know the movie Super Troopers?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about
One of the actors.
What's his name? Ramathorn.
Super Troopers? Yeah, Ramathorn, there you go. I sent him a video where it's Ramathorn telling a story about him meeting Willie Nelson, telling Willie Nelson, hey, you know, because Will Nelson's like, hey, we're going to go to the Trail of Smoke before the shoot. And he's like, hey, look, just so you know, Willie, I used to smoke a lot of weed in college, like every day. And Willie's like, okay, sure, let's go smoke. And they go smoke. And he's like, Willie loaded up so many blunts that there were 4 major blunts in rotation, and he already realized he was as high as possible. And Willie went to hand him one, and he's like, no, I'm okay. And Willie made him say, what was it? I quit or I surrender?
I surrender. Yeah.
I surrender. It was like Willie Nelson made him say, I surrender. Now, this is Willie Nelson. I've been looking around for quotes of this guy, and it's nothing but the most positive. The biggest killer on the planet is stress, and I still think the best medicine is his and has always been cannabis. Willie Nelson. Once you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you'll start having positive results. I mean, I can't find any major stories of Willie just being angry or evil or mad. That little caught me off guard. I started like jumping around, and it's just, I think, one of the narratives that aren't taught to people, right? I think I think we focus as a society so much on like hard charging dudes that I don't think people also explain like those peaceful dudes, like the Willie Nelsons and all those other guys out there. These people were also competitive. I don't think that gets translated to kids enough. I just thought, I wanted to know if you guys had any experience of the same, of like really peaceful people you guys know who are insanely hard workers in the background.
Here's the sad thing
successful
is...
in your life seems so bad. But if
Wait,
you're
what?
Maybe you're not hearing me. I say, hey, look, if your life isn't that bad, of course you're a calm, nice guy to hang around with. But if you work your ass off and you're just kind of making it, those are the angry bastards.
Well, here's another thing that I think is really fucking movies are destroying, okay? And that is, you didn't always... Matter of fact, it was negative to you to be a complete fucking prick and still try to get a hit in life. Like when... what was that movie with... shit. I know the second movie's called Money Never Sleeps. What is that fucking thing called? You guys don't know what I'm talking about, you motherfuckers?
No idea, man. No idea, man. I'm looking right now, but no idea.
It was with that Wall Street. There we go.
My phone's been doing this weird thing where it like drains battery fast. So like I got 28% left, and I started this conversation with 70. So I'm probably not going to get to the end of this. If I disappear, it's not my fault.
Wall Street was a funny movie because before that movie came out, people weren't acting like the fucking main character in that freaking movie. They weren't acting like what? Goddamn, why can I not remember that fucking guy's name? Whoever the bad guy is in there, you know, the supposed bad guy in there. Michael Douglas. Okay. Bankers didn't act like that guy. They weren't all in these fucking suits, acting ruthless, trying to shut down people. They took after that movie after it came out. And the funny part is that movie was made specifically to show, hey, this is what could happen. This, you know, Michael Douglas is the bad guy, and then these people took his character and fucking ran with it. It's kind of like The Mob. The funny part about The Mob is, until The Godfather and movies like that started coming out, where it's a bunch of dudes in suits making promises, they were just a bunch of fucking... It was a gang. It was an Italian fucking gang. That's how they acted until that movie came out and they started acting like that. You know, oh yeah, we should get these fucking suits. We should fucking dress up like businessmen and fucking... That's where that whole mob image came from. Well, so did this image too. And it's coming up now because of Elon Musk, okay? People are saying, man, look at him. He's such a morally good guy. He's a fucking hero, blah, blah, blah. And other people are coming in, no, he is just a capitalist. He's seeing this niche. He's exploiting it as much as he can. And he's doing what good he can to make a better image for him and his company. That's how capitalism used to be. You didn't used to be, let's suck every fucking penny that we can and destroy our freaking employees' lives by making them work for pennies on the dollar. That's a new age invention. This new capitalism, well, not that new, okay? Of course, there's shit again. But this is classic capitalism here. So your guy there not being an asshole, being a good, friendly guy, and still being a successful banker, that's how it was supposed to be. These fucking, I gotta ruin everybody's life to get ahead by one fucking point, that's the fucking scumbags who are destroying everything. You know what I mean? This isn't how the world is supposed to be. You know, it's not even how capitalism works well. You know? Capitalism works well by everybody leaning on the fucking throttle and going.
It's strong middle class.
Exactly. When our employees were paid enough, when they were paid healthily, well, guess what? They got more money to spend on bullshit. They go and buy more shit from you. Then your company's making more money. Then you could pay them more. Then they're going to spend more. And it's a cycle that just accelerates fucking everybody going through. Okay? Now with us bleeding our employees dry, now there's no... I can't afford this car that I'm helping to build. I'm making fucking $10 an hour to put this car together. It's a $45,000 car. I can't afford it. Now the shit's sitting on the lot, and we're having to bail out auto companies. So that's kind of the issue here, is that whole fucking, you know, image of the cutthroat fucking banker, that's the guy who's fucking everything up and not being a very successful banker. You know, and another thing that's irritating me is this whole image we have of, hey, this guy made a whole bunch of money, well, he must be just a genius, and he just must have his life put together, blah, blah, blah. Even if he's the one that made the money, he could have just fell on a lucky fucking strike. he could have came in right in the right business, like people learning fucking website design back in the fucking 1990s. They were just a bunch of fucking nerds goofing off, and all of a sudden, hey, my skills are needed, and they've made a whole shit ton of money, you know? They weren't just geniuses fucking, you know, predicting the fucking market and knowing what's about to happen. A lot of times people get rich, it's a lot of fucking luck that ties into the right skills at the right time. Okay, now am I saying that everybody that get rich was just a lucky bastard? No. There's people that busted their fucking asses for it. But there's a lot of stupid fucking rich people. That's one of the main reasons we got to keep money out of politics, because being rich doesn't make you any fucking measurably smarter.
Yeah.
But now you have more of a say in the politics.
You just walked into another point I was going to make, and I was actually going to save this for another show. But you know, when we bailed out the banks, we bailed out the car industries, we bailed out multiple banks and multiple car business or companies. How likely do you really think it is for multiple banks to be on the verge of bankruptcy? How many car companies would be on the verge of bankruptcy at the same exact time? It wasn't just the car companies. It was the fucking federal government at the same time, all holding hands and say, well, we're going to help these guys out. And if we help these guys out, we got to help these guys out who weren't probably anywhere near it. And fucking, we went above and beyond helping to the point of saving people. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, we're putting money in pockets and letting them do it.
How many car companies are out there and that are U.S. that are from the United States? Think about it. It's like 5, right? 5, I think it is.
GM, Daimler, Chrysler, Ford, and Saturn, right? But that's a dinky ass little one. Is that thing still around?
They're a subsidy of another. They're like a sister company of another business. I can't remember exactly who they belong to.
Tesla would be another one, I guess.
But think about it. How many did we bail out when the car companies were going under?
Shit, I don't know. I know at least.
Well, we bailed out a bunch.
It was minimum 3.
Yep.
Off the top of my head. Do you really think all 3 of those were on the verge of bankruptcy at the same fucking time? Because if they're not buying this car, they're buying that car. Or if they're not buying that car, they're buying that car.
Or they're buying a car. I mean, you know, we could look back at the Great Depression times. All those fucking companies went bankrupt at the same time.
We weren't Great Depression, though. This isn't we're nowhere near what they were going through back then.
Well, I mean, it was pretty fucking close if you measure by the amount of money lost. I mean,
the money lost and the money still available is where I would go with that. You got to count.
Not to mention inflation.
Yeah, so I would venture to say that it's just not the businesses; it is the government as well.
No, I totally agree with you there. You know.
And if we would have stayed out of it completely and let certain banks go under and certain car companies go under, you know what? That would have made the market just a little more competitive. It would have lowered prices on vehicles. It would have fucking probably brought up pay raises. You know, all these different things that never happened because we felt the need to help more than we actually were required to save a specific company.
Yeah. No, I can. Instead of these things going down and a more competitive company shows up, one who's not going to fuck everybody, we kept the same bad practices.
14 bagel shops that are closing this year because, you know, they couldn't make ends meet. Why would we help a car company?
Yeah.
True. And the bagel shops are more tied to the local community than those car companies ever were.
We did way more damage by helping people than we did by staying the fuck out of it.
Oh, yeah. One of my preaching lines for the last few years has always been still
50%.
50%. One of the top of the list worst decisions we've ever made as a country was giving companies the people rights. Still the worst decision I think we've ever made. But actually, kind of jumping back just a little bit, it's funny when you mentioned the whole not everybody that's successful was a genius thing. They did a little bit of a study, and they found out, hey, what a strange coincidence. Every president we thought worst at a major economic crisis, that had nothing to do with them. And every president we thought was awesome happened to be there right at a peak, at an economic peak, like, say, Bill Clinton, favorite presidents of the last few decades, I'll say.
Yeah.
Came in came in at a peak, like a high business peak, had a lot of money to play around with. FDR, kind of the same thing, even though I don't know if you could consider him favorite. He was hated by a lot more people than is actually told. But it's just funny. They did a little bit of study, and they were like, every time people are considered favorite, the economy in general was also doing great, even though they attribute it to that person.
Well, see, here's the thing. They also, in that study, they also noted, because I remember this study, that the first 4 years of a presidency is a result of the last president. So, like, Obama's second 4 years, that's Obama's fault. The first 4 years,
true.
Not really Obama's fault. Does that make sense?
Not that he didn't try to do some fun things.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, the repercussion of what the previous president does lasts into the first 4 years, or the first term of the next president. It is a given.
It's kind of like that running joke. The easiest way for me not to listen to anyone talking about politics is if somebody says something like, what are they going to do to fix these gas prices? And I just go, all right, well, I'm not listening to any other word out of your mouth. Fucking no idea what you're talking about right now.
There is things to do, but none of them are the ones we're talking about doing.
Yeah, exactly.
The only way to fix gas prices is to allow, U.S. to drill more than we already do. We have oil, we just can't drill it. We're prevented by the EPA.
It's a ridiculous amount of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my thing is a lot of people are getting. Because here's my example. When I was working for the last company I was working for, I dealt with a lot of business owners and a lot of corporations, and I knew about every time I was going to deal with the owner themselves, they were going to be, at least 70% of the time, dumb as fucking rocks. Okay? Like, every time it's like, yeah, this, you're going to talk to the owner of the company. It's a small company, got 100 employees. It was going to be painful to talk to this fucking owner. And guess what? That was the guy making the most money there. Then you'd go find the general manager, and usually he would be a decently intelligent guy, and you go, okay, this is why this company's still running. That guy who's actually making the real money, he's pretty fucking stupid. Okay? It's just he's the one who fucking struck him with iron was right, And I've seen it a lot of times that it's just it's sad, And I think, like, what's his name, Dave Ramsey or whatever. He gives a lot of financial advice, and usually he's pretty solid. I like the guy, but he does have a habit of thinking that rich people are like fucking God's gift to earth. You know what I mean? Like, you can read this. This is what rich people do compared to what poor people do, and it's a whole bunch of, like, they listen to audiobooks instead of listening to music in the car. Like, give me a fucking break, okay?
All right, oh shit, I'm dying.
Nah, you're good, man.
White man down. White man down.
All available cruisers to that location. All available cruisers. All right, I'm assuming he's officially out of it. But yeah, I was just curious to hear if you guys had kind of a same take on that, because I just noticed, I was like, man, nobody talks about. I mean, when you're talking about all these, like, they just released a documentary about Kurt Cobain, a brand new one using a lot of personal video, and Kurt Cobain's always pictured as just this never devil without a care, slacker kind of guy who just kind of played his heart out and whatever, right?
Yeah.
No, when they released those videos, man, he had meticulous notes about what he expected from the band. Rehearsals were a serious thing to him. He had a whole plan on how they were going to get to stardom. Like, it wasn't just, oh, he was just rolling with the punches. Don't get me wrong, there was a lot of that. They didn't actually think they were going to be successful. That was like the punk movement. Nobody really thought that music wasn't commercial music, so nobody assumed they were the levels of success they did. But that being said, he definitely had a plan to be successful, and he was definitely angling for success. He wasn't just playing just to play. He was playing to get somewhere. Nobody brings that up in the story of Kurt Cobain. All you hear is he just had a passion for music and he just wrote. Nah, man, this motherfucker he had a plan. He had a plan, and one of the big reasons he had his psychotic break was the pressures of trying to achieve that plan. Nobody talks about that aspect of it, you know? And the more I'm looking into these stories and I start digging into the background of these, you know, devil may care guys, like what's his name? The famous actor. He had The Great Escape. He had the bike thing.
Oh shit. Fuck, I don't remember, dude.
Uh,
I can't even remember Michael Douglas's name. You asked me for that shit?
I'll get the actor's name in a second. But that's another guy who was considered to be kind of he's a bon vivant. He just lives, you know, at what Steve McQueen, just a man who lives 100 miles a minute, just always enjoying life to the fullest, never holding back. But the more they learned about Steve McQueen, no, he was meticulous about how he went about things. He took roles very seriously. He did tons of research. He was obviously a fitness buff. He wasn't just fit for no reason. He worked out constantly before it was like super popular to do so, you know?
Yeah.
I just don't think that story gets pushed to the forefront. Like even these devil may care attitude guys busted their tails, most of them, to get to where they were.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't think people don't want their freaking image ruined. You know what I mean? You know,
yeah. You want
Cobain, who's actually a shrewd businessman. You know, maybe I don't like it that much anymore.
Yeah, but romanticizing it just misguides so many people. Like, think of all the women you know who have said they idolized Marilyn Monroe. It's that easy. That easy. Think of all the women you know who said they idolized Marilyn Monroe. Were they women who definitely had a career path and had a freaking idea where they were going?
Fuck no, man. It's one of those. I'm gonna be a teacher someday. Yeah, I bet you are.
Yeah. But the funny part is, if you study Marilyn Monroe, no, she was meticulous. She kept a diary about everything. She was read books constantly, very, very, very studious about learning shit. Like, she wasn't just a random model. Don't get me wrong. She slept with a lot of people to be successful, but that was also calculation.
I'll tell you what, though, I would do the same fucking thing. Some chick comes up to me, says, I got this $120,000 a year job. You just gotta fuck me. Well, girl, you get her fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife will give me a high five when I get home. I guarantee it.
But that was kind of the funny part. I was like, man, I think romanticizing that whole living life to the fullest thing, it screws over so many people, because there's so many people that are just dying out there to find out there's an easy way.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Straight A Conspiracy, where people started making up this story where Thomas Edison was just a genius, and then forget to leave out all the hundreds of thousands of failures he had to get to where he was going. You know what I mean?
Not only the hundreds of thousands of failures, but the insane brutality of his business. Yeah. How, like, you were either part of the Edison crew or he fucking shut you down. Just Google Tesla sometime. Yeah, that guy. That was a terrible story. When I found out that story, I was like, Jesus Christ. And they leave Tesla out the history books more than they do Edison.
Yeah, they did. That guy was goddamn
the arguably smarter guy with the arguably invention gets left out just because the other guy was more ruthless at business and just dominated history more.
Yeah, now you hear he invented the light bulb. No, he actually screwed over the guy that invented the light bulb.
Yep.
That guy died in fucking squalor.
He invented DC current. Well, Tesla had way better current, and he just squashed it and made it terrible and killed a guy in the process of proving that Tesla's was worse, even though it wasn't.
And an elephant. You heard about that, right? He electrocuted an elephant.
Yep. I heard. All of that in the process trying to prove his was better, and all he did was prove Tesla was right and still won. Brutal. All right. So we got anything else to go on, or can we start hitting parting shots?
I guess it's just you and me now. But the ending question, my parting shot is: with this whole Caitlyn Jenner thing, the surgery's done. Is it really done? Is it still gay? That's my question.
I am surprised you waited that long to ask it. I guess you just
We'll have to ask the audience. Audience,
I I personally wouldn't do it. For the same reason when I had my chance to do a threesome, I didn't do it. Just the idea of seeing another man's dick is too much for me, yo. I can't.
that dude is in a drawer somewhere at the fucking hospital.
But I can't. My greatest, and this is completely ridiculous, and it's entirely me, and it's entirely my bias, and I own up to it 100%. But the fear for me would be he says the surgery is done. We go in there to start something. He pulls it down. Is like, sucker, I'm still in Olympic shape.
You would be the fear for me, man.
I can't run that fast, dog.
Fear for me is I'm sitting there fucking this girl, and all of a sudden his voice breaks and turns back into like that. Like, fuck.
See, I don't know.
I grew up in California, man, so seeing new equipment, usually, like, people say I hate fake tits. I'm not one of those people. I see a 6-month-old titties on a 40-year-old woman, I'm fucking down, okay?
I support your decisions.
But, it is a little different when you're talking about a brand new fucking vagina. I mean, that's...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I do think it would be fantastic to... Ooh. Oh, Christ, I think I might be able to find someone who slept with new vagina.
We need to bring him on the show. Ask him.
Oh, dude, I would love to know. I got questions. Questions.
Here's one thing. If I was Bruce Jenner going to find a doctor to make me into a woman, to build me this vagina, that is one point in my life I will be supremely racist. Okay? Oh, what? You're black? No, I don't need a vagina built for the boys back on the fucking island. They need to build me something for fucking Asia. That's the one I want. That was that is totally racist.
I can't argue against that.
I mean,
what's one of the I used to remember to listen to an old country comedian, and one of his jokes was, there's never going to be any feeling like walking into the proctologist, seeing he's a big black man, and then seeing his Super Bowl ring.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, what happened if I heard Bruce Jenner walked out on the first doctor because he's black? I understand. I mean, I would have done the same fucking thing,
It's pretty funny. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know. That is definitely a question. I don't know. So that was your parting shot?
That was mine, man. That's all I could do here.
Oh, man. People, if you can comment, people, we really do. We're genuinely curious. Would you do it? Would you do it? How would you do it?
If you found out one of your friends fucked a girl who used to be a guy, do you think he's gay? I mean,
yeah. Well, the answer to that is obviously no, but still, I get the sentiment.
I mean,
now,
legally, I'm sure that's so.
Yeah. But morally, among the boys. Yeah. All right, my parting shot is real simple, right? Hi, rich people. I'm a random poor black man. Look, I understand you're rich and the world is your oyster, and everybody needs to bow to you. And the fact they don't bow to you is only more reason for you to be a dick. But if you're over 300, you know what? If you're over 300 pounds, could you not get the Ferrari or the Lotus or the Corvette
or the Porsche?
Or the Porsche, or especially, I really want to reiterate, or the Lotus, please, not the Lotus. Could you just get, a Hummer like all your other big boys,
You know,
please.
that's a good topic for next time. I'm gonna write that shit down.
I was at work, and there's this sweet old lady who is just busted up, busted up, busted up, bust. I mean, just not busted up as in like beat up. Just she has something wrong with her, and she's hurt bad. But she loves life and she loves being rich. You could tell because every day she's out there in her what's the James Bond car?
Aston Martin.
Oh man, every day she's out there in her Aston Martin driving that thing around. Hurt, leaning, like driving it with her head cocked to the side because she can't hold her head up straight, but driving it good too. And every time she comes in, God bless her 80-year-old heart, I flirt with her as hard as I can. And I've told her already, I'm like, I'm just doing this for the car, baby. She's like, that's why I drive it. And she's a sweet old lady, and I'm perfectly okay with that. But then on the flip side, this big dude and this big girl drive up in this Ferrari. And they come out of the Ferrari and they're both pushing the high 200s, gotta be 300s. And I'm watching that car, which is built for tiny little European human beings, just struggle with that American, just all that American mass just coming out of it. Like they got out and an already low car looked like it was lifted.
Jesus.
It was, and it broke my heart because I was like, why that car? You could buy any other millionaire car. Why the Ferrari when you're a big person? Why? It's just, the status doesn't even work for you.
Get the fucking Hummer, like, you know, everybody
Yeah,
does.
you still get to flaunt the bills. You still get to show you're a baller, and you don't look ridiculous torturing the car.
And here's another irritating thing for me, okay? So I got my motorcycle parked out in the parking lot, right? Okay? I came out there several times, and this dude in this janky-ass S10, it's 2 spots, and there's, you know, border on each side of these 2 spots. And I park all the way to the side to, you know, give people as much room as they want, you know? This fucking S10, every time I come out there, is halfway in my parking spot, okay?
Because you're a motorcycle, man. You don't need that space.
And it just irritates me to no end. Like, just fucking park, dude. I mean, I don't mind if you're over by 6 inches, a foot. You don't need to be halfway in my fucking spot, man. I don't need your $2,000 truck to swing a door into my $20,000 motorcycle. Okay? The part where this became hilarious is somebody out here who apparently is making some bad decisions. Now, don't get me wrong. I got a $20,000 motorcycle. Obviously, if I'm living in an apartment, I've made some bad decisions in my life too. But this dude's driving a fucking really good-looking Hummer H2, okay? And for some reason, I think it's just the time he comes home, he's been parked next to me in his fucking spot. Not over. And I'm like, if this fucking guy can do it,
Are we good?
too.
Live?
Yeah, we're still live.
We're still live, man.
All right.
We
You might want to duck that face, boy.
I turned the camera off.
it's
Oh, the
on.
camera's on. The camera's on.
There you go. It's off. Okay.
Now it's off.
But that irritates me. Why can this fucking Hummer park next to my motorcycle and stay in his spot? Okay. And this fucking piece of shit S10 is over in my goddamn spot. Just wears me out, man.
Entitlement, man. It only takes a little.
He must be white.
He is. He is.
Yeah.
All right, man. You got
Everything
any parting shots? We're wrapping this up.
Oh, I don't have any parting shots, man.
Well, then let me reiterate Alone in the Dark's parting shot for you because that works too. Hey, so now that the surgery's done, Caitlyn Jenner, would you? Come on, would you? If nobody knew, would you?
Although, you know, hey, to be completely honest, that shit's new. Maybe it's just tight.
That's what I was saying, man. It's a.
Get the fuck out. Shut up, man.
Here's my thing, man. Let's not talk, because really, in all honesty, I mean, does Caitlyn Jenner look good for a girl who used to be a man? Yeah.
Yeah, no argument there.
Is that somebody
Looks better than his ex-wife.
I wouldn't really turn my head if I saw her walking down the street, okay? But
True.
True that.
let's say Mila Kunis, it turned out, was born a man. Would you consider me gay for fucking her? Because I definitely would.
Oh no, not even close. But
What?
but
That's not
here's
even
the difference with it.
That's the conversation because she wasn't born a man.
But what I'm
No. He's saying, what if she was?
that bitch came from
And she wouldn't look the way she does, man. You've never met a dude that look anywher near like that.
bullshit. I
Gee.
don't want to.
I've seen some trans. You just haven't seen good transgenders, man.
Now I'm a little worried. Now I'm worried that
Go on Netflix. Go on Netflix and look up Jim Norton.
I'm not
Jim
gonna
Norton. I'll text. No, I'll text you the specific stand-up. At the intro, there was a transgender there. I dare you to pick her out before it's revealed she's a transgender.
what do I care?
Well, I'm just
Hey,
asking,
you want to see a good job?
I'm just asking if I ended up fucking this girl, would I be a bad guy? I mean, would it?
For me, that doesn't hold as much relevance because we've known her longer as a girl than a guy. The biggest issue with the Bruce Jenner thing is the transition based on the knowledge. That's what is jarring for me. It's hard for me to reconcile that. Even I accept the choice, but it's hard for me to mentally reconcile that. Like this girl, for example, if she was a guy before, I don't know that. I know her as a girl. So for me, I'd be cool with it. I'd be like, whatever. I don't know her I never knew her as a guy. You can show me pictures later, and that's ancient history for me because I never experienced that person as a guy. But for me, if I've experienced you as a guy and then I experience you as a girl, that fundamentally becomes difficult for me to turn
process.
into a sexual thing. Not even to process. I can process your change fine, but I can't process being sexually attracted to you. It hasn't happened to me yet where I've looked at a guy that is a girl now that I knew as a guy then as a girl. It hasn't happened to me that I look at them and then I feel any sexual attraction. And I know why. It's specifically because I still, regardless of how I address them and handle them, in the back of my mind, they're my boy. See what I mean?
Look, check it out. The minute that they can take out his Adam apple, and that is when it gets confusing. That's when it gets confusing.
Shit's gonna get real.
Safe because I'm not confused. I see that. I know I'm done.
Here's my opinion on it. If tomorrow Charlie went down and got the surgery and came out looking like this, Charlie's getting fucked.
Here's the problem. I couldn't. Because I'd still see her as Charlie. So for me, as much as I would support you fucking Charlie or anyone else, I couldn't do it because I'd still see Charlie. Are you uncomfortable with us talking about sleeping with your Charlie? Does this mess with your mind?
No, it doesn't. You know why it doesn't? Because I don't have to wrestle with my dick lobbed off, and he might be the one getting fucked.
It's funny you said that. My answer to him was this. When he was talking about would you, I was like, I can't. And it's the same reason I turned down a threesome years ago, which is the idea of seeing another man's dick would just kill me. It'd be the end of everything for me, like just sexually, period. I wouldn't be able to process it very well. And he was like, well, the surgery's done. I was, no, I don't understand. My fear is I'd walk in there believing the surgery's done 100%. She gets naked, a dick pops out, and she goes, oh, by the way, I'm still in Olympic shape. I can't run that fast.
Here's another
Just saying.
Okay?
You might give me and my father-in-law a heart attack.
I'm just saying, man. I'm being honest. It's not that I can't process that she's a girl now. It's just my mind will not let that even see another guy's dick.
Right.
My greatest fear is I'll see the dick and still have a hard on. That'd be the end of me.
That you might get a hard on.
No, that would murder me.
If you fuck one of these,
I don't want to answer. I don't want that question answered.
if you saw one of these newly made girls, okay, and it turns out that it was just great, do you leave a review on her surgeon's thing? Like, yeah, fucking this. It had all the right, everything. I mean, it just this man is.
You know what? That might be the greatest positive for the transgender community, man. Like rate your teacher, but rate your transgender doctor. Oh my God!
Rate your surgeons.
wait, you can't. Yeah, you came from Dr. Cho. Oh, he does good work. We got to hit on her.
Hey, can you go to Angie for this shit?
Got to contract out the repairs, man. Piece by piece. That's how you fix an old Chevy.
You're gonna have to end this, man. I can't.
Oh yeah. We gotta shut this down. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great comeback. As you guys can see, by the way, the crew is getting more and more minted as the day goes by. They're the Dare to Disagree shirts. We're working on other ideas.
Hey, just
stickers are coming soon.
Out there, I am the best dancer out of this group. Just remember that.
I wouldn't. I disagree. I think you're the best white dancer. I'll say that. I'll say that.
So I
dancer is still up for grabs, man. Look, the black boys didn't really get a lot of a show to boot. So we'll settle this later.
Look at it like this real quick. There was one white dude, me, because Alan doesn't count. He's Iranian, right? So, dude, and that white dude can dance. 4 black dudes and only 2 of you can dance. That's 50%. I'm just saying, I took it.
You know what? I think maybe they might not have. You know what? As I said, we'll settle this later. This sounds like a classic dance battle scenario. I've seen the movies. I know how this ends. I win. It's fine. I come from a lower income than you do. I win in the story every time.
Right.
I've seen this movie.
Be sure to guess that the income I grew up on and the income you grew up on were either close to the same or you were higher than me.
Just saying.
You got to remember that most of the income he was on is like coconuts and fucking, apricot seeds. It wasn't real money.
They're trading pelts and coconuts.
Hey. Tell me the last bailout they had for coconuts and apricot seeds.
Hey,
you tell me that, and then tell me how modern you are.
Right. All right.
All right. Well, this has been the show, guys. This has been Dare to Disagree. I've been your host, Jonathan Esther.
And this is Glow in the Dark, and I totally promise that I won't fuck the Puppet Master over there.
Those fingers were hella crossed.
This is Puppet Master again in the Redneck Paradise, and I'll tell you right now that Alan, if you try and fuck me, I'm gonna rip that bitch off.
This sounds like the fuck of a lifetime. Well, this ought to be good. Just all I'm saying is we need the ratings. Record it. We need the ratings.
I got the grip of Thor over here, man.
All I need. It's another reason I need Bruce Jenner's dick. Just on back. I'm gonna get some of that gold medal dick now.
All right, man. That's been the show. Thanks for joining us, guys. See y'all next week.
Yeah. Bye.